What is going on, world? I am the Hungarian experiment, and in one of my latest videos I discussed how sleep affects your growth hormone and your testosterone levels. And in that video I mentioned how concepts like sleep deprivation and polyphasic sleeping can negatively affect your hormone production in your body, and I actually mentioned this. So as you get older, I don't believe it's as detrimental to your body, it's not going to be as detrimental to your life to experiment around with polyphasic sleeping and to really push it to the test. And when I look back at polyphasic sleeping and I did a bunch of research, there are actually a lot of amazing, great minds from the past who used to experiment around with polyphasic sleeping. So in this video, I want to discuss and highlight 5 geniuses in the world who experimented and utilized polyphasic sleeping. When I first began experimenting around with polyphasic sleeping, which I have heavily documented in several videos that you can find in the description box below there, once I was fully adapted to it, after about 2 weeks, I became extremely productive. I just had so much more time on my hands. And along with that, I was still able to stay on task even though I was having these random naps throughout the day without feeling much of a lull. I was able to just kind of hop back into whatever I was doing and working on. Due to all this, I began to question if great minds and geniuses from the past took advantage of this unique sleep schedule, this polyphasic sleeping, to create some of the greatest inventions, artworks, and ideas in human history. Well, they did, so let's just hop into who they were and what things that they created while they were doing polyphasic sleeping. We all know and have heard of Nikola Tesla. I mean, his name is synonymous with one of the biggest electrical car companies in the world right now. But Tesla is actually responsible for the development of alternating current, which actually helps to power many of our homes today. And it also powers almost everything that isn't run on a battery. And he even developed a way to transport electricity wirelessly over 25 miles. But how did he manage to accomplish all this? Well, apparently he took naps every once in a while, but apparently Tesla only slept 2 hours a night. And he even lived to be 86 years old. Now, if you follow along my journey, you know that I'm a big fan of Leonardo da Vinci. I mean, like, come on, I have one of his main life mottos tattooed on my hand. And you've probably heard about his astounding career where he's basically left a mark on anything scientific or artistic due from his concepts and theories in life. He painted the Mona Lisa, he created weapons of war, and designed some of the very first flying machines. But Da Vinci was known to sleep only 1.5 to 2 hours every single day and would offset that with 20-minute naps every 2 hours. Now, depending on what sources you look at, some are gonna say he slept 15 minutes every 4 hours, but the key concept to understand here is that these great minds from the past, people like Nikola Tesla, Leonardo da Vinci, and some of the great gentlemen I'm about to cover, took advantage of polyphasic sleeping to create these amazing concepts that are still having an effect on our lives decades, generations, and even centuries after their death. And they use this to enhance their productivity. Leonardo da Vinci lived to be about 67 years old. You may know Salvador Dali from his crazy wild mustache or some of his very intricate and unique works of art. But Dali's expansive artistic repertoire also included film, photography, and sculpture. Dali was known for, and he discussed how he would purposely put a plate on the floor and he would fall asleep or nod off in a chair while he was holding a metal spoon. And as he started to nod off, he would unconsciously let go of the spoon, which would hit the plate and wake him up. He called this method slumber with a key and actually discussed it in some of the books that he wrote. He felt that sleep was a waste of time except for the dreaming aspect of it, which he obviously utilized throughout his career. Dali lived to be about 84 years old. Napoleon Bonaparte, one of the first emperors of France, who is regarded as one of the greatest military leaders in the history of the West, slept in 2-hour chunks, and he would offset this with 30-minute naps in the afternoon. He would even do this during battle. Although some sources say he would go to sleep at 12 p.m. at night, wake up at 2 a.m., work until about 5 in the morning, and then have another 2 hours sleep until 7 a.m. So that would result in more of a 4-hour sleep. But again, He is taking advantage of polyphasic sleeping, of offsetting his sleep schedule. Now, Napoleon is a little more documented. During periods of battle, he would get a lot less sleep and do more polyphasic sleeping, and times where it was a little less stressful, he would have a full 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Now, I don't think this has an effect on it. I don't think his sleep caused him to have a young life in this world, but Napoleon lived to be 52 years old. There are definitely other factors involved with Napoleon's death. Winston Churchill's one of the more well-documented polyphasic sleepers, and he was said to get about 5 hours of sleep a night on average, but he was known to advocate for a substantial daily nap. He would wake up about 8 in the morning, he would stay in bed reading papers, dictating letters, doing all the morning paperwork, mumbo jumbo, and then after tea time in the afternoon, he was known to have a long nap. And then he would stay up until about 3 a.m. in the morning working. He is quoted saying, "You must sleep between lunch and dinner time, and no halfway measures. Take off your clothes and get into bed." That's what I always do. Don't think that you'll be doing less because you are sleeping during the day. That's a foolish way of thinking from people who have no imaginations. You will actually be able to accomplish more. You get 2 days in one, or at least 1.5 days. A funny side note about Winston Churchill that I also discovered is that he actually used to have 2 twin beds, and when he couldn't fall asleep in one, he would get out of that bed and hop into the other one to see if he could sleep in the other. I just thought that was a funny little tidbit that you guys might enjoy there. If you did, I'd appreciate it. Go smash that like button for that. Alright, well there you have it, world. I am definitely not advocating that you or anyone else out there in the world go out there and start experimenting around with polyphasic sleeping. But if you noticed here, some of the greatest minds from the past, people who have left a mark on our civilization, people that are still relevant in our lives, who died decades, generations, and centuries ago, took advantage of this unique sleeping practice. They sacrificed on sleep to increase their productivity, and it obviously did something for them. Now, if you do decide that this is something you want to experiment around with, I really suggest going to check out my video in the description box below there, where I cover all the scientific information that I could find behind sleep deprivation, and polyphasic sleeping, and how it affects your growth hormone levels and your testosterone levels. I believe polyphasic sleeping is a very interesting concept to take advantage of. I experimented around with it for a few months. You guys can go see my results from that. But I believe that there are certain times in your life where you should really be deciding if it's the right thing to take advantage of or if it's not the right thing to take advantage of. So I really suggest doing your research before you just dive into it. Again, it's all in the description box below there. Make sure you go check it out. And I'd like to know what you guys think on this video here. Did you enjoy this video? What do you think about all these unique, great minds from the past who have taken advantage of this concept of polyphasic sleeping? Do you think it's something that you could implement into your lifestyle? If not, why? If you have taken advantage of polyphasic sleeping, let me know in the comment section below. I want to know what you felt. How did it affect you and your lifestyle? How old were you? And what did you learn from implementing this into your life? Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, on your way down there to leave me a comment, go hit that like button, and I will see you in the next video. I am the Hungarian Experiment.